marked out on the body where the tuner and the pickup are going to go, and so I'm going to cut these out. I'm going to use my little rotary tool, and I'm not going to try to cut through all the way. I'm just going to score it, because I did, if you probably remember, I glued a reinforcement piece underneath this, so there's some place for it to attach to, since I could do it while I was putting the body together. So I'll score it first, and then I'll make several passes to cut out the whole thing. So we've used a flush cut router bit to round off the sides where we get extra after we're gluing the top and the back on. And I've also cut some binding strips. I'm going to use this. This is actually Brazilian cherry. One of the things you want to do is make sure you cut them the right length, make sure they're long enough. The body of the guitar halfway around is about 22 inches, so I cut 4 strips, 2 for the front, 2 for the back, and I have a trim router bit, and I'm going to use this router to cut the channel for the binding. I'm going to bend them on this iron. I'm going to keep the instrument nearby here so I can test the bend as I go around, and I'll get them a little bit damp. Just they seem to bend a little easier, and it doesn't scorch the wood at all. Start with the lower bout. Okay, it looks like this is going to fit in there quite nicely. So we'll just do this 3 more times and you'll be set. So we have the body of our instrument. We've cut the channel for the binding, and we bent the binding on the heating element. So next step is to glue this in. I'm going to use a CA glue or cyanoacrylate. Basically, it's a super glue this is kind of a gel, and so I'll just run this around the body of the instrument and tape it up as we move forward. Okay, we're going to glue in the binding, and I'm going to start at the bottom of the instrument. If you look at videos, a lot of people start at the top. I'm gonna start at the bottom because I've already squared it off and got it lined up with the center of the body. And the main reason for me is when you get to the top, this is going to be hidden by part of the neck, and on the front side by the fingerboard, so you've got a little bit more room to play around with, and you can be more exact and get these exactly lined up at the bottom. I also have a bunch of tape. I'm going to tape this down, and I have a bunch of tape lined up here so I can just glue it and grab the tape and glue it, tape it down as I glue the binding on. So I'm just going to take it and run it around the body here. I'm going to just hold this here for a few seconds to get that where I want it. Dries pretty quickly. Start out with a piece of tape right here. I'll leave a little gap in between each piece of tape. So we've got our binding glued and taped on this side. I've trimmed off the bottom of this to match up here, and then we will glue this around the other side. Okay, again, we're using the CA glue, and I'm going to run a bead of that around here and then tape down the binding. You've taken the tape off of the binding, and so now I'm going to scrape this down close to level, and then I'm going to use a orbital sander when it gets close to go over the whole thing. I'm going to use this scraper, and I have to credit Eric Schaefer for showing you how to make this. He took a dowel and then cut with his bandsaw slit down there, and then put in the razor blade to use as a scraper. So we'll try this, and then we'll get to the final sanding. But this holds it level against the instrument, and you can just scrape off the rest of the binding to get as close to level and get rid of some of the extra glue. So I've got it pretty close to level, so I want to take my orbital sander. I'm starting out with 120 grit sandpaper.